These are all 3-year lease deals based on 3 months up front and 10,000 miles a year. Please use the link in the video description to check out the deals for yourself or to adjust the terms to something that suits you better, and it helps support the channel. Thanks. Hello folks, and welcome to the in-stock lease deals of the month for April 2023. We've got some stonkers in this one. We've actually got a couple of cars that I don't think we've ever seen in a lease deals video before. Certainly one that I don't think we've seen in a lease deals video before. And it's a good car and it's a good price. There's a little bit of something for everyone in here, so keep watching, give it a thumbs up, and we'll crack straight on. Right folks, let's kick things off with this Citroen C3. I think it's about the cheapest it's been all year. Certainly a good deal at the moment, 734 up front and pretty much 245 a month. 10.1 seconds to 62, 51.5 mpg, insurance group 15 and 410 litres of boot space. So 1.2 PureTech 110 Shine Plus. So let's go down here. It's quite well spec'd. It's got sat-nav, Bluetooth, aircon, parking sensors, DAB radio, etc. Average price for it's been 273. As you can see, 297, 293, 283 at the moment. 244.94 a month with 734 up front. The VW Golf, there are thousands in this country that would never consider driving anything else, so good to see one on the lease deals of the month. 976 up front and 325 a month. 9.2 seconds to 62, 130 brake horsepower, insurance group 19 and 381 litres of boot space, 51 mpg. Very well spec this one. It's the style edition, but it's actually really nicely spec'd. 17-inch alloys. It's the 10-inch Discover sat-nav system, which is really good. You've got Bluetooth audio, all that kind of good stuff. Front and rear parking sensors. It's got distance control, LED lights. It's got the 10-inch customizable driver information display. It's what you see as virtual cockpit in the Audis. Digital Cockpit Pro in VW. It's a lovely thing anyway. Look at this. 366.49 has been the average price since November. In November it was £407 a month, and then since January we've been looking at around about this. So 976 up front, 325 a month. If you want the slightly more upmarket brother of that and slightly spicier, that same engine, that 1.5 VW lump, is in this Audi A3 Sportback, although it's a little bit spicier in here. It's got a little bit more of a tune on it. 150 brake horsepower, 47.1 mpg, 380 litres of boot space, and insurance group 20. 0-62 in 8.7 seconds in this one. Just over £1,000 up front and 353 a month. It is the S-Line. It's the one you want to get in Audi. S-Line is where you want to be usually. 404 has been the average price, and this one's been available for a year, so 404 has been the average. As you can see, it was 416, 423, 411, 425. It spiked there at 454, and then it just dropped down a few weeks ago. Now £1,000 up front, 353 a month, and of course it's in this video, so it's in stock. Now sponsors for today are Car2Cover, and if we went for a gap insurance quote from Car2Cover, and this is their premium gap insurance, it's a very, very good level of cover. It is designed to be quite customer friendly, and they are insurance specialists. They are gap insurance specialists. They also do alloy cover, scratch and dent cover, all those kind of things. On that Audi, it's £31,000 car, and 3 years cover on it would cost you 169 quid. So if you've got that car, you're say 12, 18 months into your lease, it gets written off, and there's a big shortfall between what the lease company are asking you for and what the insurance company are paying out. The gap insurance will step in and fill that gap. You can go on car2cover.co.uk and get a quote for yourself. If you use the code JIM10, you'll get £10 off. At the moment, you need to call them to do that. It's on 01438 870 615. It's a really small UK-based team, no call centres or anything like that, just really good, decent service. So check them out. So we've looked at the Golf, we've looked at the A3. Let's look at the ID3. Basically, the closest thing we've got to an electric Golf at the moment, and it's very similar money. Just over £1,000 up front and $355 a month for an in-stock one. This is the Life spec. So with Life, what do we get? Infotainment with wireless smartphone charging, comfort pack, Bluetooth connectivity, climate control, front and rear parking sensors, DAB radio, LED running lights. Okay, that's okay. 9.6 seconds to 62, 264 miles of range, 145 brake horsepower, And let's jump back up here for a sec. Boot space of 385 litres and insurance group 18. So over the last year, it's been £419 a month has been the average. As you can see, it peaked up there in June at 482, and we saw 482 again in September, 398 in October, 411 in November, 482 in December, 1,067 up front at the moment, and £355 a month, and of course it's in stock. Next, we've got another great EV deal. It's the Peugeot E2008, 206 miles of range, 136 horsepower, insurance group 26, and 434 litres of boot space, and a range of 206 miles, 1,124 up front, and 374 a month. Once again, it's the lowest price we've seen it all year, and it's right now. The average for the year has been 441, currently 375. Next, we've got the Nissan XTrail, and this is the 1.5 e-power 204 Accenta Premium Xtronic, so it's automatic. 398 quid a month and just under 1,200 up front. Insurance group 24, 575 litres of boot space, which is pretty epic. 48.7 mpg in a big car like this is really good as well. And 8 seconds, 0 to 62. I've just booked one of these in for review, actually. I think it's in June at some point. It's really only been out 5 minutes, this car, just since the end of September, and that was 644 a month at that point. And then it dropped right down, and we've been at this kind of price since middle of Jan. So it's a bit early to say how good this deal is. If you look at the numbers on this car, it's a hybrid, it's well spec'd, it feels like good value at just under 400 quid a month. Next, we've got the Audi A4 Saloon. This is the 35 TFSI S-Line S-Tronic, 8.9 seconds to 62, 150 brake horsepower, insurance group 26, and 460 litres of boot space, 41.5 mpg, 1,200 up front, and 397 a month. Again, S-Line, so we're looking sort of top trim level on the Audi before you get to like the Black Edition and Vorsprung and those kind of things. Very nicely spec'd. Average price on it's been 432, peak there in January at nearly 500, now 397, which is pretty much bang on 100 quid less than it was just back in January. I'm sure this is the first time we've seen an ID4 in one of these videos. VW ID4, 1,272 up front and 424 a month, 109 kilowatt life pure, 52 kilowatt hour automatic, 213 miles of range, 148 brake horsepower, insurance group 22, and 543 litres of boot space, which is pretty epic. 10.9 seconds to 62, 148 horsepower, fairly well spec'd. Look at this. Average price has been 516 quid a month, and for a lot of the year we were looking at over 550, 560, 570, 617 in December, and then it just in the last week. So 1,272 up front and 424 a month. If you don't know the ID4, it's kind of the SUV, family SUV kind of thing for the VW ID range. Very sparse interior. There we go. There's a little picture, but nicely screwed together. Nice thing to drive. You could do worse than one of those. If you're more of a petrol head, we've got the Alfa Romeo Giulia for you, the 2-litre TB Sprint with convenience pack, automatic, 6.6 seconds to 62, 200 brake horsepower, insurance group 27, and 38.2 mpg with 480 litres of boot space. Lovely looking vehicle, the Giulia, and with an Alfa, not a bad idea to have one new with full manufacturer's warranty throughout your ownership of it. Just saying. So this is 1,485 up front and 495 a month. You'll see back in April last year it was 614 a month, and we've seen this very gradual little drop, look. So for quite a long period of time it's 582 a month, then for quite a long period of time it's 533 a month, and we've just gone to sub £500 for the first time in the last 12 months. Average price on it, as you can see, has been 552, nearly 553. Currently we're 495 with 1485 up front. I can't think how many videos on the trot where we've looked at a Tesla Model Y, but in this one we've gone back to the good old Model 3. 1,600 up front and 540 a month. That gets you 305 miles of range, 245 brake horsepower, insurance group 48, 542 litres boot space, and the range on this one's 305 miles. Not too shabby, is it? 5.8 seconds to 62 in this bad boy. Lots of people poo-poo Teslas, having never driven one and have only heard sort of anecdotal evidence about things from people down the pub. Build quality is one of those things that people often talk about like with great authority. And the ones we're seeing now are actually built in China. And whatever your thoughts about China, they're fantastic at manufacturing. And the cars that are coming out of Tesla now are actually really decent in terms of build quality, especially when you compare it to previously when they were coming out of the USA. They weren't so good. You know, it was very hit and miss, and lots of people had problems and little rattles and things. They're nowhere near as bad now. They're actually pretty well screwed together, I think, and they're lovely things to drive. They're just perhaps not my favourite looking car in the world. 1,600 up front, 540 a month. Average on it has been 589, and as you can see, the peaks here is 668, then 652, 652, 599. I think only for about a week, maybe end of Feb, start of March, have we seen it a fraction cheaper than this. But it's a decent price at the moment. Now, if you like your SUVs big and beefy, then Mazda CX60. Not too many people know about these at the moment. It's the 2.5 litre plug-in hybrid, and it's the 𝘾𝙃 spec. 5.8 seconds to 62, 327 brake horsepower, insurance group 39, 580 litres of boot space, and one of those ridiculous MPG figures that you get on a plug-in hybrid. It's not going to be anything like that, is it, in the real world? But, you know, that's the number. So this one's 573 per month and 1,700 up front. And let's go down here. 5.8 seconds to 62 is lively for such a big beast, isn't it? So back in May, 688 a month. July, 696 a month. January, 646 a month. The average for the year has been 635, and it's currently 573, which is the cheapest we've seen it all year. Only 2 to go, folks. This one is the BMW 5 Series, the 530e M Sports. That's the plug-in hybrid version. 5.9 seconds to 62, 410 litres of boot space, 292 brake horsepower. So this one's 1,900 up front and 636 a month, which might not sound too exciting, but these hybrids are blooming expensive to buy. And the prices have been up and down more times than a window cleaner's ladder, to be fair. So last year, 685 a month, 855 a month, 875 a month, 845 a month. And look at that one, just a couple of weeks ago, 961 a month. Currently 636 a month with 1909 up front. Finally, we've got this big daddy here. It's the 3 litre TDI, 3 litre V6 TDI 4Motion Black Edition VW Touareg. Automatic Tiptronic, 2,200 up front, 732 a month. It's in stock. It's the Black Edition. You don't get any better than this, really, in terms of your big old Touaregs. 286 brake horsepower, 0-62 in 6.3. 43 is the insurance group. And it's got a stonking 810 litres of boot space. Look at this on the price, folks. This is interesting. Average price on it's been £911 a month. And if we go back to this time last year, 869, 871. Then in August, 870. October, 799. December, 968. January, 983. March, £1,114 a month. Currently, 2,197 up front and 732 a month. Folks, please use the link to Leaseloco in the video description and pinned as a top comment if you're interested in any of these deals, or indeed if you just want to have a poke around and see what you can find for yourself. And please support car2cover.co.uk. Remember to call them and quote Jim10 and they'll give you £10 off any policy you buy. And if you buy more than one policy with them, they'll also add on a multi-policy discount. So you can save quite a lot from the advertised price you see on screen just by giving them a ring. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Nowhere near enough of you are subscribed. And please click that notification bell, because I think it's currently about 9% of you are actually got the notifications turned on, which means you miss loads of my wonderful videos. Thanks again, folks. There's a link to that gap insurance video that I mentioned earlier coming up in just a sec, so go and check that out. Thanks again. See you soon.